What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Ryan Pineda Show, where we talk all things money, real estate, and entrepreneurship. And you've caught us in our Guru series. And today's guru is somebody very popular on YouTube. I don't think he would consider himself a guru, but hey, that's what the series is called, so that's what we're gonna call him. And that person is Meet Kevin. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. As part of this Guru series, we've gone over other gurus slash influencers such as Ty Lopez, Grant Cardone, Graham Stephan. And today's guy, Meet Kevin, is pretty different than most of those guys. Well, he's kind of similar to Graham, that they're both very famous from YouTube. And I was familiar with Meet Kevin probably about a year ago. People had started sending me his videos, and I thought they were pretty cool. He's a young guy who's out there doing it, making money in real estate, making money on YouTube, investing in stocks. It just seemed like he loved everything about basically making money. My first impressions of him, I'm not gonna lie, thought he was kind of weird. I thought he's pretty quirky. He's got all his really bright colors behind him. He's got all his emojis and cartoons going on, and his banners and his backgrounds and his courses. So he definitely, I guess, has that YouTube vibe going. Also, when I first decided I wanted to make YouTube videos, I asked my Instagram followers who were the best guys on YouTube to go subscribe to in the real estate niche. And many people had said Graham Stephan, many people said Chris Crone, and a lot of people said Meet Kevin. And Meet Kevin was the one I was most familiar with because I had also heard him on the Bigger Pockets podcast. And if you wanna go listen to his podcast on Bigger Pockets, you could find it in the link below. But I liked what he had to say on Bigger Pockets. One of the things that stood out to me was that he was more concerned with growing his net worth than he was with cash flow. And I'm actually in the same boat. I see a lot of people going to buy in the Midwest because they can pick up properties for like 50 grand and go rent them out for $1,000 a month, and they can go and make 300 bucks a month. But to me, I've never been a fan of that because I don't really care about making 300 bucks a month. I would rather go flip one property and make 30 grand. But also, those properties are never gonna really be worth much. To Kevin's point, they don't really increase my net worth that much. If I buy a property that's worth $50,000 and I get it for, say, $30,000, that'd be a smoking deal, right? But it's only increased my net worth by $20,000. And in 30 years from now, what's that $50,000 property even gonna be worth? Maybe it's worth $100,000? I don't know, but I know it ain't gonna be worth very much. And let's assume I get a 30-year loan. 30 years from now, I own a property for $100,000 free and clear. Now, let's talk about Kevin, who's in California. Maybe he buys a property for $500,000. Maybe it doesn't even cash flow like he had talked about on Bigger Pockets. But he's not going for cash flow. He doesn't care about that 300 bucks a month. He cares about his net worth. If he buys this $500,000 property for $400,000, he's increased his net worth by $100,000 today. That's a big increase. On top of that, in 30 years from now, when this property is paid off, what's it worth? Maybe it's worth $1 million. If you're looking at property values in California 30 years ago, they've doubled, tripled, even quadrupled in some cases. So even being conservative and saying it just doubles in 30 years, as long as he can cover his debt servicing, he's gonna have $1 million asset free and clear versus the other guy who's only got a $100,000 asset. To me, that's the long-term play. I'd rather have 10 of those properties worth $1 million and be worth 10 million versus somebody with 10 cheap properties and only worth 1 million. And I also believe that in time, with inflation, with rent increases, they actually will cash flow in time. Rent increases and inflation will make it cash flow, especially with interest rates at all-time lows. It just may not be immediate. But for me as a real estate investor, I totally agree with Kevin's premise that, hey, let's buy assets that increase our net worth. Let's not focus so much on cash flow, let's focus more on appreciation. Because in all honesty, when it comes to buying rentals, you usually can't have both. You're usually picking one or the other. There are some markets where maybe you can get a hybrid, it'll cash flow now, and you think it has good chance for appreciation. And Tucson, where I invest, is one of those markets where I feel that way, but it's kind of not on either. I don't think it's gonna have the same appreciation that a more expensive market in California will have, but it's also gonna have a lot better cash flow than that California market. So let's talk about Meet Kevin and his channel. All right, so we know his investing strategy as it relates to rental properties. Let's talk about the other things he's got going on, like his channel. When I first started watching him a year ago, he was mainly real estate and finance. Ever since the pandemic hit, he kinda has turned into like a news anchor. I'm subscribed to him and I see him put out a new video every single day, sometimes multiple times a day. As I make this video right now, I sit there in amazement. I'm like, how does this guy make so many videos every day? On top of that, he says he's editing all his own videos himself too. I personally haven't edited any of my videos. I can't imagine how much time it would take me. So the fact that he's able to do daily videos, edit them himself, promote them, and do everything that comes with making one video, I'd tip my cap to him. That's impressive. And I think it's extremely smart what he's doing now with going the news anchor route. Since I started taking YouTube more seriously during lockdown, I watched his channel go from a couple 100,000 to almost tripling in a very short amount of time. And that was just due to him changing what he was covering. Now he just covers the government and stimulus packages literally every day. I'm gonna be very curious to see once all this dies down, what he chooses to do. I don't see how he's gonna continue to do it without getting burnt out. But for now, it's growing his channel like crazy, and I'm sure it's making him a ton of money with AdSense, and I'm sure it's helping him sell a ton of courses. Which leads me to the next point of, I ended up buying one of his courses. If you watch my video on Graham Stephan, you know that I bought his course on how to do YouTube. It was well worth the money, one of the best investments and courses I've ever made. So after I did Graham's, I said, I might as well just buy one of Kevin's and see what it's all about. And I ended up buying his course on, I have to read it right here because it's so many words, The Complete Guide to Money, Wealth, Investments, Credit, and Passive Income. There's a lot in that course. It was around $400 when I bought it, and I got a promo code, so it was like $270 when it was all said and done. And I went through it. Now, did it have the same impact for me that Graham's course had on me? Not at all. It was a very entry-level course for somebody who was learning how to budget, time management, and a bunch of other things. Most of these things I've already done or know, versus when I did Graham's course, it was completely foreign to me, so I got a lot more out of it. But that being said, do I think it's a bad course? Absolutely not. I think if you're just starting out trying to learn how to manage money, to be more efficient, it is a great course. You'll definitely learn a ton about credit and buying rentals and other things like that. I actually did take one tip from it that I ended up using, and that was using my company to finance my car. I had heard about it before, but it just never crossed my mind to actually do it. And then he mentioned it in his course about it not affecting the DTI, which is the debt to income ratio for those of you who don't know. You wanna have a low debt to income ratio when you're applying for loans, especially mortgages. So when you go to buy a car, if you use your company to purchase it and your company is the one doing the loan, it doesn't count against you personally in your DTI. So that's actually how I bought my Tesla, doing just that. And I think Kevin bought a Tesla doing the same thing too. So just that one little tip definitely made it worthwhile. And that's one thing to keep in mind when you're doing anyone's course. If it's completely new to you, you're gonna get a ton of value. If you knew absolutely nothing, to you, a course is going to be extremely valuable. To somebody else who already has a good idea of what's going on, they may think most of it is repetitive, like I thought with Kevin's. But if you can pull just one nugget from a course that makes it worthwhile, then it was worth it. And that one tip definitely made it worthwhile. Even when I go to seminars and masterminds now, I definitely know a lot about real estate. I feel like I know a ton. I don't know everything, no one knows everything. But when I go to most events and masterminds, a lot of the stuff is repetitive for me. I've heard it before, I've talked about it before, I probably teach it. So as you gain more knowledge, you have to learn to sift through the repetitiveness to find the golden nuggets that you're looking for. So keep that in mind anytime you do anyone's course, whether it's Graham's, whether it's Kevin's, whether it's mine. There's always to be something gained from any course. You just have to be looking for it. So overall, what do I think of Meet Kevin? I think he's doing a great job on YouTube. I think he has made a nice little pivot to transitioning into basically a news anchor. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's definitely helping him get a lot more subscribers and a bigger following. I think his course is gonna be great for people who are beginners and learning about money and credit and financing. And I think his videos are entertaining. I like watching his videos and what he has to say. And I also think it's extremely impressive what he's doing with pumping out so much content every single day. Seriously, like, that impresses me more than anything. So Kevin, if you're watching this, keep pumping out the content. I enjoy it, you're doing a great job. And if you guys enjoyed this video, do me a big favor, make sure you go and hit the like button, it'll really help me out. Also, make sure if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell notification so you know when I've got new content coming out. And as always, make sure you follow me on all my socials where I'm active daily. I would love to interact with you and hear from you. And as always, thanks for watching this video. Take care. Hey everyone, I appreciate you guys watching this video. If this is your first time to my channel, I want to just welcome you and let you know that there are a ton of different resources for you guys to get started. We have different playlists that you guys can watch. They're in all different categories. You can look at real estate specific, finance specific, entrepreneurship specific. We even walk through different flips that I've got going on and different investments that I'm looking at. And also be sure to check out our weekly vlogs where you're gonna get to see the behind the scenes of my business, my operation, my life, and get to know what it's like in the life of a multimillionaire. So make sure you guys stay on the channel, keep learning, keep liking the videos, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification for when I release new videos. And if you want to message me directly, you can go to ryan@futureflipper.com. Shoot me an email with different types of topics that you'd like me to cover in my next videos. I'll even give you a shout out if you give me a good one. So I appreciate you watching this video. Thanks.